magicians, high priests, high priestesses, kings and queens. What's happening, eh? It's Jupiter's day. The energy is quite expansive on this Thursday. I wanted to do a collective for the last quarter moon in 21 degrees of Aquarius, which happens tomorrow morning for us, early morning, depending on where you are at, or tonight if you're on the other side of the world. A lot of I don't know, expansive energy. I'll just attempt to go into the pre-shuffle here. I have the Black Moon Astrology from Suzanne Shepherd that I've been kind of digging into as of late. More sun energy, so perhaps it was the last reading that I posted. A lot of Jupiter, I think the Jupiter benefits card showed up, and so did the Pluto transformation card, which is here, which we've been definitely affected by lately, and has been affecting a lot of transformational changes, a lot of flipping of the coin, a lot of flip-flopping, a lot of energy became stagnant or a little bit crumbled, or a lot of bit crumbled. Maybe certain towers in your that were part of your castle seemingly crumbled or actually crumbled, and there's been a bit of struggle to rebuild, but it is all happening so fast that you've been needing to take a lot of breaks and timeouts. I know the eclipses tend to bring on just random colds, like a random, I don't know. Why? Please tell me why. So yeah, it just might feel like you're under the weather, or the weather's under the weather. It's been raining so much since yesterday. This is unlike the mile high. Wow, I just skipped through my entire typical intro, right? I'm your mile high priest. Thank you all to the people that are new. I'm happy that this little channel's slowly growing, and I'm still attempting to fix some of the setting issues with my camera, and but yeah, I expect some changes slowly but surely. Anyway, back to the reading. I don't even know where to really place a central focus. Obviously not the Pluto card, right? Nobody wants to focus on the Pluto card. So the Pluto transformation card is in reference to the Six of Swords, which definitely means like you've been sort of maybe a little bit beat down, and you're moving to calmer waters. It seems like you only have some things on that you're carrying off to this new land, but you're moving on. It could still feel very intense. The energy's still very much in intensity mode, or it seems very chaotic, like internally chaotic, and I have a lot of people that inform me about the news. Like, okay, I get it. Like, the world's a little wackadoo, right? But we are a peoples. We are a global peoples, and we evolve with the times. And the message with that is to relinquish a lot of power. It's almost like, yeah, you have to drop all of your control, all of your needs and desire to control that mental latch onto the want to control things and outcomes and situations and relationships, you've had to really give that up. Like, that could be what feels like you're moving on to calmer waters, but with like you've had to give everything up. Well, that is a huge mind shift, and it leaving that amount, that it's like a lot, it was taking up a lot of space in your mind and the lack thereof now. Like, when you decided recently to put that desire and to rid yourself of those falsities and desires to control, it has opened up a whole cleared out a space. You may have even like cleared out space in reality, or like people cleared you out. You lost a job, or like you sold a home, or you bought an expensive item, like you bought a home. So like there's this huge like clearing, or you ended a relationship, or someone ended a relationship with you. It doesn't mean the intensity left. The space is there. The space is good, and it has brought a lot of clarity to you. But the intensity kicks in when you start to try to fill the void. And right now, the other, I would say, a more focal energy, if I had to choose, would be the fifth house of creativity card, which is in reference to the Six of Cups. And so, yeah, there's this like need or suggestion or advice from spirit to go into the land of creativity, the fun house, romance yourself, be more fun with whatever it is that you have. It doesn't have to be expensive fun. It doesn't have to be spending lots of money. It doesn't have to be God, I don't know why spending lots of money on me, honey. It doesn't have to be furry vibes. Sipping champagne. Gosh, those songs drive me nuts. They're really funny. You are more learned than that, right? Like, you're not a caricature, but you can lean into comedy fun. But moving beyond that, we have the opener to this pre-shuffle was the second house of owning, which, when I was reading the oracle to gather all my notes, it's like the message is like, you will own it. So either you did just sell off something that was a huge chunk of your life, and you're gaining money from it, or like you bought something really expensive, or both, or it has a lot to do with like a shift in home. So like moving, but if you didn't experience that, it could also be almost like you realigned your thinking and moved things out of your systemic way of thinking. It could have felt very like Tower moment, but it is more like a departure, and moving to a different like land. The reason why I say that is because a lot of the landscape is emotional and intellectual. So if it wasn't that you physically moved or physically sold or bought, you may have just diminished an entire systemic way of thinking and old way of thinking and old way of feeling, or your feelings were impacted somehow where there was a huge emotional shift and a coming to a new emotional landscape. And there's this so I was mentioning, right, like the solar eclipse, and I believe the lunar eclipses too can kind of like stagnate energy or bring stagnancy along. And like we are also still in Mercury retrograde in Taurus, which could mean a lot of stagnant energy in financial and economic flow. And it could mean watching your keeping an eye or like getting money, but like there's this like tight tension where it's like I can't spend money right now, or I can't spend much time right now, or it feels like not having enough time, but like also devoting time to nothing. All of that is good. Like all of that is good. Like don't be so big, right? But there is that like intense shift, and I think knowing your lessons will help you with the fifth house creativity. It is like go big. Like now you're gonna go big. You may have felt like a struggle, and it could have actually been a struggle in others' eyes, or relatively speaking. Like you could have really felt like the struggle is real, but now the struggle is kind of moving. You're moving beyond that feeling and that mood and that vibration of struggling, and you could maybe be experiencing some anxiety because there's an intense flow of energy coming through with the Venus and the part of fortune increase card. The Venus card is in reference to the Empress, and the lot of fortune or part of fortune increases the Ten of Pentacles. So in all of this, you could have gained a new perspective in a spiritual sense, or you are new to spirituality, but like you've gained a lot of clarity through this new and journey through spiritual enlightenment or awakening. Or you could have already been a very spiritual person, and now you've been kind of knocked up, like new notches appeared, or like the mind kind of expanded. The heart center has really like increased. I also, in the whole reading, there's a lot of, with the leading fifth house of creativity, I get a lot of sacral chakra, karmic, and heart chakra, destiny qualities here. The part of fortune is very much a destiny card, or a fate, a karmic payback, karma paid in kind, the karma we like to see. The Empress, the Venus love card, is like shared resources, like business, partnership, money, increase in money, especially in business and partnerships. And this is also obviously an increase in wealth, in more rooted, fundamental, or like real, tangible is the word I'm looking for, like a tangible items, like those are the signs of the wealth, of your abundance, of your financial abundance. But because the Ten of Pentacles is here, there's also this like spiritual abundance. And so maybe you want to reflect on the last reading, like, or maybe some of you, this reading is for the people that already went through their Plutonian admittance of the truth, and like going through the dark to get to the fun house. Like you went to the I don't know why I'm getting the carnival. Well, obviously the fun house is like a carnival thing, right? You went to the the haunted house. You went on the haunted house ride, and you came out and you're like, let's go to the fun house now, because like that messed me up. But yeah, right, like you've gone through your transformation, like you've healed yourself, or you are in the midst of, and you should be well aware that this will lead you to a more creative, fun-loving, a realness. Like fun will follow you and creativity will follow you, and you will be more apt to express creatively and grow creative passions. It is a good time to also learn more about whatever it is you're into, like spiritual aspects or like spiritual topics, and also like a more, again, tangible or fundamental things like money, how to handle money, especially with the second house owning. Like maybe there's a new level of money or finance that now it's like you had a financial advisor, and now you have a whole team of different types of accountants and advisors, different types of funds, or that is advice to not go too intense, but you've learned those lessons, right? So like Venus is very tempting. It could be that you can afford the expensive item, so like make sure that you can actually like afford it, like meaning like, are you future thinking? Like, oh, this will pay for itself. Like, well, that's maybe an old construct that you have. Also, lots of love, like this being like a partnership, slight partnership endeavor-esque, and Venus being like a very much a partnership card, very Libra, Taurus. The second house being the Taurus ruled house, or the home of the Taurus sign. The fifth house being the Leo sun energy, very expansive. So like, yeah, don't fly too close. Don't fly too close to the sun and burn up your wealth, or like don't burn yourself by thinking too big or going too big. Obviously you can, so like make sure that you're part of the group of those people that you can, but also just tend to your wealth is more so the message there. But just this is the checks in the mail card. After having said all that, after having said like, take care of your new abundance. It's like the checks in the mail. I don't know, there's something about like Venus, like that, like drunken love, or like romance, or yeah, like what I was saying earlier with the solar eclipse and eclipse energy of feeling like stagnancy, or like that something was crumbling and certain things did crumble, like you did experience a lot of tower moments, and you had a lot of like death moments of like transformation, or actual like people passing, which I don't mean to like just nonchalantly mention that. Like obviously I mean that with all due respect, and send my condolences if that's the case. And I know that eclipses bring about those types of changes, and this very much signifies inheritance as well, and so does Pluto. Like the energy has been intense, right? Like in all aspects, especially with relationships. But it's very much like something had to leave, some things had to leave for you to gain so much more. And that was like the decision to make. Some of you are still in the midst of that decision of like, if I make this hardcore decision, like, is this really going to happen? And like, this is very much like, yeah, it is, because you worked on it and because you cleared karma. And so now you're going to be repaid, and your karmic debt is due, and it's actually in kind, it's in your favor. It's like, that earned luck. There's a lot of earned luck energy. And so you've worked hard for it. So keep that in mind. Like, even though it's this big, huge windfall, so to speak, or an actual windfall, like, you will have to contemplate a lot. You will have to be very creative. You will have to take a lot of time downside and time off. I also want to mention, before I do a Moonology spread, I already have my Moonology spread cards going. The bells were like ringing or belling, and I was like, oh, I better move this show on the road, or get this show on the road. You're gonna feel that sense of rush, but like, remember, you can't control. You've got to relinquish control. You've learned that lesson already. So there's a lot of like, don't forget where you've come from, but more so like, don't forget what you've learned already. If this isn't something that you're experiencing, someone around you close is experiencing it, like your child, one of like, if you are a parent, a mother, father, or guardian, or parental person, or a manager of some sort, like someone that you parent and oversee, or like your child could be experiencing this like new public recognition. And so that it will affect you positively too, right? But there's a lot of, again, like I said, a reminder of where you've been and how you got here, and don't blow it, so to speak. You will feel like that rush, like it will, the intensity will still remain, and like the feeling of rushness may come back. Like your old rushed feelings like will kick in, and you're you have to go slow. What's rising up in me between now and the full moon? So because we are, this is a reading for the last quarter moon in Aquarius, before the next new moon in Taurus. This is what's rising up in you between now and then, which is the waning moon. Wow. Can we get any more synchronistic? The moon is waning. We are in the last quarter, third quarter. What do you need to release? Relinquish control. Relinquish the need to be in a rush. Remember, this is karmic and fated, so that you could easily turn that wheel of fortune. Remember also the spiritual aspect to this. Remember, okay, I thought Saturn was there. Well, never mind that. We don't necessarily need to see Saturn, right? More messages may be coming to you this weekend. I feel like after Friday night, maybe after you go home and end your shift at work, or like the days kind of dwindling. like over the weekend. All right, what's a solution to any challenges that you face now? Moonology cards. What do we have? A time to give rather than take. Also with the owning and part of fortune, the Ten of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles card, it give a little if you can, right? Even if the increase hasn't arrived to you, like there is a need of like, or being kind too as well. You know, if you don't have that like big bank, then you can still give by being kind to others and being very like generous with your compassionate nature. This is advice. Your commitment is being tested. Like I said, remain in your spiritual hood. New Moon in Taurus is copied up. Yeah, this is not lied. Nothing is yet set in stone. The fifth card came out on its own. At the bottom of the deck, your hard work is paying off. This is very much Aquarian vibes. Maybe that's why I was getting Saturn, because Saturn is a ruler of Aquarius, and so is Uranus. I believe Uranus is a modern ruler. Saturn is the traditional ruler, and the 10th house of the world is here. Aquarius is here. I'm sorry, yeah, Aquarius. And the 10th house, which is Capricorn. Oh, wow, it's a lot of the like the last houses of the zodiacal wheel. Spirituality, hard work, community, the global. There's a yes. I'm gonna just pause for a moment because I want to check out I always check out the Oracle deck card, and so I'll be right back. Okay, y'all. So yes, I don't know. The word shape-shifting came up again with the mutable moon. Nothing is yet set in stone. So like I mentioned, because of all the energetics in the astrology, the planets, the moon, the sun, things may seem unstable, or like a situation has been left in that like iffy, like will it happen? Is it gonna happen? The magic to work here is the mind shift of, okay, there's room and space for me to breathe. There's room and space for the other party to breathe. So let's work on what I can, and let's bring in the charm also, but don't push. Don't with these three cards that came up before that one. What do you need to release? A time to give rather than take, and your commitment is being tested. All of those cards are your commitment is being tested, is asking how much do you want this, and are you willing to work for it, but not by pushing the other party, not by pushing the person that you may be interested in, or the business partnership that you may be interested in, or the amount of money that you may be interested in. This is about taking care of yourself. More synchronistic with energies with the previous readings that I've done, taking time out to build a healthy routine and healthy mind body routine. Perhaps it's changing, you're making changes, or the advice is to actually make changes. And what do you need to release is, again, knowing that the tide can shift, knowing that you have to maintain. It's more than the positive way of thinking, right? It's more than it's an actual mindset shift of being analytical with your approach and not overly critical, but also removing the push, the pulling and pushing, the poking, the prodding, the desire to go so fast. All of that is testing the other parties, the other people. The test is on you. Okay. Are you in healthy mindset? Are you in healthy mind? Are you in, is your home and space, or wherever you live, wherever your alchemical laboratory, is it clear? Is it adjusted to you to help you create your magic? Are you taking care of your body? Are you taking time out to meditate, whether it's like long walks under the sun, or if you're not allowed, if you're not capable or able, if you're limited to those types of performances like physical activity, then it is okay for you to visualize walking or being in the ocean, walking in a sunny arena landscape, just looking at your day-to-day and your daily activities and how you treat yourself, how you talk to yourself, and also knowing that if things aren't seemingly going in your way or moving fast enough, that means instead of dwelling in that, use that time to honor yourself and take a critical approach to your day-to-day. Build a more healthy relationship with yourself. Take time for yourself. That is all the surrounding energy, and that the advice is all of that I just listed. But also this is a yes card, and it's also like you can build what you want. You can build towards what you want. You can be successful. You can have the amount of money. You can make the purchase in due time. And again, make sure you're ready for that. Either make sure your space is clear to allot for this abundance that's coming in, and make sure you're ready. Make sure you're also saving, or you're ready to save, or you're in that spirit of actual acceptance and gratitude. And are you in that vibrational state of actually owning and having that much power and wealth? Or are you just gonna blow it? You know, like there's this like fantasy aspect to it. But more so dwell in the fantasy of actually having it, and when it lands on your lap, pause on the fantasy and like get ready for the intensity and the rush. Don't be a Fergie song sipping champagne up in the sky. No. Archangels, what is a final message or advice that we can give to this wonderfully abundant collective? We got to keep this one short, right? So we have the Eight of Air, the Eight of Swords, an illusion of being trapped, a lack of self-confidence, afraid to take action. So don't fall into the stagnancy, like just because appears to not be moving, or it appears to have become stagnant, again, don't settle in that. Do more for you. Have fun. Be creative. And just, again, bask more. Like I said, bask more in the illusion of it actually happening, and bask more in like, I can actually take time myself to wait. And while I wait, I'm not gonna wait. I'm not gonna sit there and mope and wait. And 4 cups, watch the rain. Like, I'm gonna freaking paint and write and hang out and visualize like beauty, and then all of a sudden these 3 archangels. Yeah. Come on, get a grip. We have Justice, Archangel Rodwell, so more Libra, Capricorn energy. We have Awakening, Archangel Gabriel, the Hangman, Piscean energy. We have Balance, Archangel Zadkiel, Temperance, Aquarius. The need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise. Wait for perfect timing. I know it's going to be so difficult to focus. With the Awakening card, the Hangman energy, look at things from a different perspective, a temporary standstill. It's important to be yourself. What are we saying here? It's just a temporary pause. This is meant for your good. The pause is good for you. The pause is like the alchemical reconfiguration update, operating software update, like 3 of them, 3 updates. Justice is the Archangel Rodwell. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. So play fair. Bring in the charm. Bring in the love. If you have so much love to give, go out and be compassionate and kind to folks. I'm sorry that my camera's being snotty, but definitely talk to Archangel Gabriel. And if there's a need for balance, obviously Zadkiel and Rodwell both will offer you the alchemical balance and also the relational balance that you require. You are out of balance. Never mind the other party. Never mind you waiting on the contract or the proposal or something. Like, you're teetering off balance. So here are these beautiful angels, especially Gabrielle. I think that means I should go. Oh my God, Archangel Michael. That was Archangel Michael texting me. Oh gosh. We've put our woes down by our sides. Let's take this time to mend these smiles. Together we could make it home. Lovely surprise, live our own lives. In our beds, we're the lucky ones. Fill us with the sun. In our beds, we're the lucky ones. Fill us with the sun. In our beds, we're the lucky ones. Fill us with the sun.